Big Al's Rant with Caden McFarland, powered by Jack Cassee Ford.
Now, see, had Tony Romo been playing, the Cowboys would be up now.
Yes! Look at you trying to stir that pot. Yeah, as you said, the Tony Romo people, that faction.
They're loving this.
I don't even know who that is anymore. Every Cowboy fan I hear is all about Dak. But you're saying the Tony Romo faction now has a little ammunition.
No, the Romo faction has been speaking quietly, but it's growing.
Philadelphia goes up 13-10 because of that interception, and they get the ball to start the second half. I mean, they win this game in Dallas. A lot of people are going to start changing their tune on that. They'll be ready for Romo. Loss means a lot in the NFL.
And Cowboy fans should be surprised about an interception in the end zone. I see it every week from my Eli Manning's Giants. So what's the big deal?
Yeah, forget your Giants. Who's winning the NFC East out of the Cowboys and Eagles?
Well, it'll be the Eagles after this. After this one. Welcome to the Rant, everybody. Caden, Al, Zach's with us. Zach, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Now, are you a sports fan, or are you just picking up on you?
I'm kind of just picking up on the social media angle of it.
Yes, he's getting with it.
I'm learning though. I'm learning a lot from these two guys, so it's been great so far.
Well, all right. So you can give Zach a shout on KJRH.com.
Randy says he's watching. Thanks for watching.
Oh, Randy, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Since OU had a bye week, which
That's
they
right.
did. Come on.
Big win for OSU. You were there.
Yes, and it was fun to be there, and it was a lot of different things. It was emotional because of the homecoming.
Yes.
And it's the country's biggest homecoming anyway, and with the remembrance of the tragedy of a year ago, Mike Gundy going for a win 100. But I think in the whole scheme of things, OSU proved to people that they can beat a really good team.
Sure.
And as I thought Mike Gundy put it perfectly in his postgame, this was a real football game because we actually had some tackling, and we didn't have track meets. I thought his defense really answered well. I really did.
That front four is so active, and when they are, that gives you a chance both against the run and against the pass, obviously. The 3 turnovers forced. Don't you feel like if we played this game again next week in Morgantown and West Virginia just found a way to avoid turnovers, maybe you could reverse? I mean, what you've been saying for a long time now about the Big 12 and the parity, I think you're exactly right. And what we saw with Texas Tech after putting 59 on OU, and giving up 66 and being the worst defense we've ever seen, they hold TCU to 24 in double overtime yesterday. So you got to bring it, not necessarily your A game because nobody plays their best every single week, but you got to find a way to win ball games, and that's where I do give OU some credit. But anyway, we're talking about OSU, and I thought yesterday, for the first time, they looked like a Big 12 title contender. I had not seen OSU this season look like a team that I thought could win the Big 12. Yesterday, they did.
You know, in a weird sort of way, now, OSU's running game needs to be better. There's no question. But the fact that they could still control clock and still beat a really good team by 17 points, it's got to tell you something, that they can recover even though their running game is subpar. They have found different ways to win. I didn't think they had to really trick it up yesterday to win.
Nope.
Now, that interception was a bit lucky because it was deflected. But this Richards, he probably ran about 115 yards. And Gundy made a point, too. There were no penalties on this play.
They are the best defensive return team that I've seen anywhere this year. When they get their hands on the ball, I mean, they are looking to score. And I mean, whether it's laterals or cutting back across the field, they are, and obviously guys are picking up blocks. They are really good at, once they get a takeaway, if not taking it all the way back, at least, putting their offense in the best possible starting field position. Glenn Spencer was fired up about that, no doubt. Hey, Baker Mayfield is so hot right now. And he finished 4th in the Heisman voting last year. He's a fantastic player. But if you had to win one game with a Big 12 quarterback, might it be Mason Rudolph? I think he's the guy I'd take. Against almost, and I'm talking about like against the best of the best. If you're playing like an SEC defense, I like Mason Rudolph more than anybody in the Big 12. Yeah, I think in big games, Mason's great. We saw against Central Michigan how bad this team can be if he's not on. But I expect him to be good in the biggest games. I love Mason.
He did a good job yesterday, and he controlled that offense. And he didn't try to get greedy and throw it downfield
all
when he didn't have
stuff.
it.
Yep.
It was all short stuff. There you see Mike Gundy and his son, who came over from Arkansas.
Nice moments.
Proud of his dad, and he was a little bit more exuberant after the game. You saw maybe
no doubt.
Our photog JT got a great shot of him putting the helmet on, the fire helmet on.
It's coming up right here. Yeah, JT did some fantastic work after this ball game, and this was all just really organic and natural. And homecoming, as you mentioned, was a part of it. The 100th win for Gundy was certainly a part of it, and him acknowledging the fans. I think the 100th win had a lot to do with that. But mostly, this was about beating an undefeated 10th-ranked team in the country and announcing yourself as a Big 12 title contender. They lose this game and have a second Big 12 loss, and I think we kind of write them off in the month of November. They could still have a nice year, but they're not winning this league. Now, they're right in the mix.
Right. All right, with that being said, OU is the only undefeated team in the league.
Yes.
How big of a shot do you think OU has of finishing the conference unbeaten?
Ooh, I'd give them about
4 games
20%.
left.
Maybe
20% chance of doing that?
Not very much.
I'm going 50% chance that they
really?
so
at West Virginia,
right?
OSU at home. What's the other tough? Baylor.
Well, they've got the Thursday game with Iowa State.
Right, coming up next. You think they can? They can
I think
go
they've
9-0?
Well, no, 50
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
great
but
chance. But it's
a lot better than I'm giving them.
All right. So you think we'll have a tie at the top?
No, I just think OU's going 8-1, and then the next best team will probably be 7-2.
Seth Russell had a great game for Baylor yesterday, and they still lost.
Yeah.
To Texas, a bad Texas team.
Now they've been a lot better at home than they've been away from home.
Granted, but this team has. I mean, this league has absolutely no shot whatsoever of being in the Final Four.
That ended yesterday,
None.
without a doubt.
Zip.
West Virginia,
See
Baylor.
ya.
We'll see you. Hey,
Yeah.
Zach.
So we do have some Facebook questions, but first of all, I wanted to point out Shannon said that she is a West Virginia fan, but we got beat by a quality opponent. She says, I knew it was going to be a dogfight, and both teams didn't disappoint. So that's
a lot
cool
closer than that score, the 37-20 spread. A lot closer game than that.
All right, question, sir.
Yes, and Brian wants to know, what do you think of Mike Stoops' defense as of today?
It's exactly what I thought
it was 2 weeks ago. They had a bye week, ladies and gentlemen. Kansas, when you see Kansas, that means bye week. That means free win.
Let me talk to our producer for just a second. Go ahead and roll the OU video, which we had slotted for the end of the show because we wanted to get to TU, but we'll quickly do this OU thing since the questions have taken us there. Look, the defense did what it could do yesterday. They held and what I said in last night's show is, around these parts,
the
cure for any defense, for what's ailing any defense, is KU. 2 little letters, KU.
Ask us in 2 weeks.
Exactly. Absolutely. And Iowa State has shown some promise, but that's still a team with 1 win on the year, correct? If the defense looks good Thursday, I'm not going to be a believer yet either. You're right.
They're the same team every year. They're going to beat somebody in the Big 12 they're not supposed to beat.
You think it'll be this week?
Well, it's a short week. This is their bowl game now because they can't win a bowl. They can't go to a bowl now, right?
Right.
Iowa State. So this is it.
And Thursday night, the national, sure.
And we all know that college is on Thursday night. It might as well be Friday or Saturday.
Yeah. So Jordan Evans had a really nice pick-6 return, and you'll see that highlight here in a moment. But look, we can't say anything about the defense other than they didn't make us think less of them than we already did. But this fella, D.D. Westbrook, holy smokes. Now the punt return, 71 yards, and he returned a kick that got called back. And then that catch on the 41-yard touchdown reception. He was wearing the New York Giants Sterling Shepard jersey afterwards.
I saw that.
We have that online. Him talking about how much Sterling meant to him. And he told him that last year Sterling told him, you're leaving money on the field. And that hit him. He says that's the best advice he's had. Sterling saw in him that he could be an NFL guy. You're leaving money on the field by not putting out the absolute most he can on every single play. And you see that every time he gets his mitts on it now. He's trying to score.
Money talks.
And he does a lot.
Money does do a whole lot of talking.
That's exactly right.
All right. OU has Iowa State this Thursday. It's a made-for-TV encounter. But again, I'm not putting a single thing into this game because Like I said, they would have gotten more out of a scrimmage.
And Kansas played so well last week against OSU. They weren't going to be able to bring their A game down in Norman yesterday. You can't get up every single week. Hey, the month of September, our 3 teams, OU, OSU, and Tulsa, went 6-5. Month of October, 12-1, and all 3 are in the hunt for a conference title. So we had a miserable start to the season. But October's been pretty good, and it sets the table at least for November. I don't know what November holds.
The only problem with that, however, in college football, you got to play as well in September as you do in October and November. Because if you don't play well in September and you have 2 losses, you're not going to a college football playoff. Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, that's period.
And as it turns out, that Ohio State team was probably not as great as we thought when they really put it on OU. Now, I don't know what kind of injuries there have been. That night, they were certainly great, but they've struggled the last couple of weeks. 3 weeks, actually.
They have. All right, TU. How about this outfit?
I love it.
This is terrific. They go to Memphis. They put up 59 points.
Could have put up more.
They could have put up more.
73 or 80.
But Flanders and company dominated.
My goodness. This is your backup tailback to start the year. 249 yards and 5 touchdowns, school record. Did you see his final touchdown run, the stiff arm at the end?
Yes.
Oh, man, I love the way this kid runs.
They made reference to Ron Jackson's 4 touchdowns in the Freedom Bowl. Was the previous running back number.
He was a big back.
And he was a backup to
Is that
Lacey.
okay?
Yes.
There you go.
So
how about that? Well, this backup's pretty good too. He's actually now their leading rusher on the year. He's up to 900 yards. TU is almost certainly, if Brewer can just get healthy a little bit, going to have 2,000-yard rushers.
When Dane Evans plays like this, TU is really good.
He's the maestro. Even though they're running for 300, 400 yards, you can tell that Evans is making the right reads. He's getting them in the right plays. He knows what he's seeing. The mistake he made against Houston now has become kind of so uncharacteristic for what he does. Oh, that game was so winnable now in hindsight. But look, they can still win the division. They control their own destiny. They win out. They're the American West Division champions.
They've got East Carolina this Saturday. What time did they come up with a time for that?
It's a nighttime game.
It's a night game.
I think 7.
All right.
I think 7.
And then they go to Navy. That's 11 a.m. Then
and that's a good spot. Navy has Notre Dame this week. Right. They always, spill their guts against Notre Dame, and you get them the week after. That's good for TU.
And then there's the trip to Central Florida. They're playing better than they had at the beginning of the season. And then the season ends the day after Thanksgiving with Cincinnati here. What are they, 1-5? 1-4?
Terrible.
In their conference. But good to see, a lot of players coming back. This was big. The Trent Martin, who was out last week with an infection in his knee, has looked like he was dragging a little bit there as well. But
But good to see him on the field, and certainly he's a 6th-year guy, his 2nd interception of the year. They gave up 30 points. Almost everything was on a big play on 3rd and long, so they were getting them into 3rd and long and gave up some big plays. Now, granted, 30 points is maybe a little more than you want, but if you look at the number of plays the TU defense won against Memphis, it was a ton of them. You know what I mean? They beat the snot out of these guys from the very start in the Liberty Bowl. Really, really impressed with the effort.
Thank goodness this is the last game at Wrigley Field of the season, because I think Fox has gotten a cutaway of every single Cub fan.
Where are you seeing that? Is it on somewhere?
Friday night I was screaming at the television because after every pitch there was a shot or two of every single Cub fan with agony on his face.
And what did I tell you on Friday night?
They
never took a cutaway at Yankee Stadium in October.
Every pitch. Not after every single pitch.
I can remember the faces of some of those guys hanging over the
7th
upper
inning
deck.
when it was 1-0 or something like that. But in the 1st inning on the first pitch, how do you call that a ball?
The year of 9/11, they didn't take any cutaways at Yankee Stadium.
It was pathetic on Friday night. I don't know what they're doing tonight, but the Cubs are winning. It's still 3-1, top of the 8th. But my goodness.
Well, we'll be watching the cutaways tonight now, especially after this.
Oh, it was pathetic.
Al's got things to rant about.
All right.
I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about them. That's what Costanza said on Seinfeld once upon a time.
All right, they're back at it in Dallas.
Thunder highlights tonight after the game.
Yes,
Russell Westbrook is just
They're 3-0.
He is
He'll
unbelievable.
be dead by the All-Star break, but, He's playing.
He's
well.
averaging 38 points, 12 rebounds, and 12 assists. I mean, it's only 3 games, but I haven't seen anything quite like this guy. He's something.
All right, we'll do it again next week. Thanks for being with us, everybody. And I think I'll be by Skype next week.
Yes, right? You from Santa Anita.
Yes, have to go.
Ooh,
well, I have to go. Yeah, Breeders' Cup in Santa Anita, California. And my brother's got a couple of horses running, so that'll be fun.
Absolutely.
And we'll do it again next week.
See you.
See you.
Big Al's Rant with Caden McFarland, powered by Jack Cassee Ford.